KJ here. It's Friday, another beautiful day here in Tennessee. I just got off the phone with my son CJ, so I was a minute late. I'm usually pretty prompt when it comes to these live streams. And y'all, this morning I watched that Nate Eaton interview with Kobe Ryan. My goodness, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Some of y'all have watched it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'm trying to put it through the lens of this upcoming trial. Hello, Tina Reddington. How are you? Hello, Beach Lady, Dora Pinion. All y'all, how are y'all doing? But anyway, so I was listening to that, and it breaks my heart. It really does, y'all, that he'd have to go through all of that. Hello, Janelle Murphy. Hello, Leanne Forsberg. Hello. Nate gets to the nitty gritty, and he is so good at answering questions. I didn't see his name on the witness list, though. And what's strange about that is, y'all, I was looking, because I have had a chance to look at these motions and stuff, and the state's release of the witnesses. And yes, Beach Lady says, I watched it. My heart broke for Kobe. Hello, Rad Joe. How are you? It says civilians on the court documents: Christina Atwood, Adam Cox, Nancy Jo Hancock, Serena Sharp, and Kay Woodcock. So where are all the other witnesses? Is what I mean, that was in Idaho. That's what I don't understand. And who the hell is Nancy Jo Hancock? Does somebody want to put it in the comments who Nancy Jo Hancock is? Because I know who the other ones are. Hello, Trevor. Who is Nancy Jo Hancock? Tina, do you know? Janelle? Any of y'all know who Nancy Jo Hancock is? Because I know that Lori doesn't want Christina Atwood or Kay Woodcock and Nancy Jo Hancock to be able to testify. I could see why she wouldn't want to face Kay Woodcock, because Kay Woodcock is going to bury her ass. But Serena Sharp, oh Lord, not much different than Zulema, huh? MM says Mesa, Arizona. Nancy Jo Hancock. Who the hell is that, y'all? Tina doesn't know. And I looked it up trying to cross-reference Lori's case with Nancy Jo Hancock, and I didn't get anything. Janelle says, I don't know Nancy Jo. This is the first time I heard her name. Well, it's in the court document. If anybody finds out, just go on the community wall on one of the posts there. It don't have to be pertaining to this case. Just go in the comments, because I read every damn comment, and let me know what you find. M says, Google says a lady named that on Lincoln says catering service. Hi, Ann Gibson. Ann Gibson says, it's been a while. Hope you and your family are well. I've been ill for a while, but on the mend now. It's nice to see you all. Well, Ann, I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well. Let's see. Leanne Forsberg says, church goer? Could be. I mean, right now, I'm just speculating. It's got to be somebody Lori doesn't want to testify. Mary, I just opened the stream. I was telling everyone that I just this morning listened to Nate Eaton talking to Kobe Ryan and interview him. If you haven't seen that, it's very fascinating. Especially the part, y'all, where Kobe tells Nate Eaton about how his mother, before all this shit went down and everything, he had some kind of camp he was going to go to for a weekend. And they drove out 11 hours. She drove him out to this camp. And during that time, because Nate asked Kobe, had she ever talked this crazy religion stuff? And he said that she was talking about multiple probations and he shut her down. But then he brought up, y'all, how he had fallen asleep in the passenger seat. When he woke up, she was waving in the air like this. The woman, y'all, oh my gosh. She must have been on the phone with Zulema at some point, and Zulema's going, Lori, we need to fight Hiplos, Lori. Oh, you're so good, Lori. Almost like they're doing sexting or something. Ann Gibson says, I think Lori is a law to herself. But anyway, so I got to looking at these motions. And y'all know that Monday starts jury selection. April 7th is supposed to be opening statements. That's if the jury selection process goes good, and I hope it will. Yes, Janelle. Lori's conjuring the elements. Or Zulema is for Lori, and Lori's like, oh, I feel you, Zulema. I feel you. You're so good. Oh. And so I looked through all these, and I just wrote some notes of different things that I wanted to bring about in terms of my understanding of justice and what I feel like is really going to get down to the nitty gritty here as they start their case against the pro se hooker. There. Hello, Skylight. Alex says, you make me laugh. Well, Alex, look at this face. This face make anybody laugh. Liam Forsberg says, showtime from the hussy. Oh, MM says, Nancy Jo Hancock is possibly a wedding cake lady. Interesting. Interesting. Is Harley 62 in here laughing at Ole KJ? Are you laughing at me, Harley 62? My goodness. I'm waiting for the trolls to come in because they always do, and we ain't got a single mod on here. Maybe we'll get by on the skin of our teeth today. Ann Gibson says, I feel for Kobe. When is that woman going to give him some peace? Well, he's done shut her down, he says. You think about it. If he would have continued to just hold out hope with the love he has, that anyone would have for their mother, if he would have held that, she would have held him on that string for the rest of his days and made his life and his little family's life miserable. So I'm so glad that he sees things for what they really are. Rad Joe says, can't wait to see Loho go up against Kay Woodcock. Somebody is in here modding, and I appreciate that. I really do. But let's get started, because I want to talk to y'all about this. All right, now I've gone through the motions myself. There's plenty more things that I want to ascertain about it. But Lori, absolutely, and I rewatched her last motion hearing along with reading her motions, her handwritten ones and her typed ones. And something just occurs to me that she wants to show the jury that it was self-defense. That's woo. Oh, KJ's a rocket scientist. Right, but let's go a little further. She wants the interviews of her, Tylee, and Alex, right? And she says in the motion hearing, she said, well, the police acted like this, and they acted like it was self-defense. Lori says in her last hearing that the police behaved like it was self-defense. I mean, it's clear. You just go back to her motion hearing and hear her talk. She's talking about that it's going to be something important for her to bring across to the jury that, hey, when she does start questioning these law enforcement officers, because we've all said it, they didn't arrest her and Alex, right? Is that the reason that she thinks that somehow, some way, a jury's going to think she's not guilty because, hey, they didn't arrest us. They were treating it like self-defense. But I think that it's going to come out from law enforcement, and y'all have seen it time and time again, that just because you're not arrested right immediately after an event happens does not mean that you're not. That somehow, they didn't arrest you right then, so you're not guilty of anything, or you got by, right, with it. Investigations happen. And that, I believe that law enforcement's going to bring that out. And folks, make no mistake, we all bitched and complained about how, look, if they would have just stopped them before they left for Idaho, none of the other stuff would have ever happened, and blah, 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 right? But they will show a paper trail of investigation. They never put in a document anywhere the case is closed. They kept it open. They kept investigating. Thank God for Woodcock, who was calling them and saying thanks to the other people. We've heard recordings of other people talking about, remember Joe Ryan, what had been said about that and all of that. Hello, Kathy, Denise Gray. Thank y'all so much for modding. So Lori does want to come across with this whole idea that because her and Alex had not immediately been arrested, and because the interviews, folks, do you think the police are going to go down hard and heavy on them in an interview? We've seen it where police know these people are guilty as hell in other cases, but they're going to do their professional interviewing in a way to do what? To get them to talk. They're going to act like they're on their side, or they're going to go along with the narrative of Lori, Alex, and even Tylee, if Tylee's been coached, so that they try to get as much information as they possibly can. And make no mistake, when Lori got up out of that interview, along with Alex and Tylee, Lori thought they were in the free and clear, okay? Some people think she took off to Idaho to get away from all that. No, she just wanted to get near that little itty-bitty gherkin because Chad wanted her there. And so that's why she went to Idaho. She had, 4 days after Charles's death? She's calling the insurance company. Well, that in and of itself, her calling the insurance company, which they talk about that being part of the premeditation, in a vacuum, if you say to a jury member, she called the insurance company, 4 days after, Charles was killed and everything, and that shows premeditation. Folks, if something happened to your loved one or mine, and they had life insurance, we would all be on the phone. Because what? There's got to be a burial. There's bills that are left behind and things like that. It ain't nothing showing someone's guilty because they call the insurance company. But when you add all the other details of this hooker, it all makes all the sense in the world that it was premeditated. To set it up, Lori went to Texas to be with Charles after she had gone all those many days. She had left him. He took JJ and all that. She went to Texas to be with Charles initially so that she could calm him down. So that, she knew he had that life insurance policy, and she had to make it to be like, everything was fine. He rented her a house in the house that he was murdered in so that she could be more in town, maybe near schools and things of that sort. And they were living separately because Charles was working in Houston. That's the foundation coming into what we will speak of now. And this is the state of Arizona's evidence that they say in their latest filing. Evidence of the premeditation and motive will be shown through witness and iCloud documents. The state will call a witness from Banner Life Insurance Company to show that the defendant contacted the victim's insurance company within 4 days of the murder of her husband to collect proceeds because she believed she was the sole beneficiary. Now, if you was to stop there in a vacuum, there's nothing guilty about somebody wanting to check on life insurance after their loved one dies, even in terrible, tragic situations like that, which it was murder, but we're just going to say it like that. But But this is when we go into the part where premeditation gets a little bit more specific. During the recorded call by the defendant, she provided a different story about how her husband died by telling the life insurance representative that her husband's death was an accident. And why would she do that? Because you and I both know that insurance companies will do whatever the hell they can do to not pay out. And if there is an investigation ongoing, they're going to drag their feet until that investigation is complete. So she told them it was an accident. She didn't want to tell them. Well, of course she wouldn't have told them, well, my brother murdered him or anything like that. But she sure as hell wasn't going to tell them, well, there's an investigation. And perhaps she really didn't know that there was going to be an investigation ongoing about it all. But when the defendant learned that she was not the beneficiary, she advised the person she was having an affair with, which was Chad. So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March. So it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. That is damning, y'all. Those are her own words. How's she gonna be able to do anything about the evidence of witnesses and iCloud documents, i.e. her own stupid ass text message to that dang asshole, huh? Get rid of him? Oh, well, she's telling an insurance company it was an accident, right? And then she says, they can't tell me to who, of course, but it's done. I'll still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security. And then the state goes on to say, this statement by the party opponent about the life insurance proceeds is evidence of premeditation. The defendant later contacted the sister of Charles Vallow to confront her about the fact that Charles Vallow changed his life insurance beneficiary, and this hooker has filed a motion saying that Kay Woodcock has no first-hand direct knowledge of anything. Well, she freaking called Kay Woodcock, and it is relevant that she's stupid enough to call Kay Woodcock and say, get all upset. He didn't leave us nothing and all whatever she said to Kay. But Lori doesn't want Kay Woodcock to testify to that. And her argument in her own motion about Kay not having any knowledge of anything, if for only that statement there, Kay Woodcock is going to bury the hooker. Now, the state will present testimony from an investigator with the Social Security Administration and iCloud documents to show that the defendant was aware of how much money from Social Security she would receive for her son JJ and herself as a result of the death of Charles Vallow before she went to speak with anyone at Social Security. Now, again, unless you add other details surrounding that, obviously, if you have a special needs child and because she's already got this experience of what happened with Joe Ryan and how Tylee receives benefits from Joe Ryan, y'all, a juror could say, well, yeah, she just wanted to know. I mean, who wouldn't want to know how much they're going to get? I'm not taking up or I'm just trying to look at this in a very neutral way. Again, she knew about it before she spoke about it. I guess the question is if she already knew. She already knew when Charles was murdered. Then when she went to the Social Security Administration, it was worth her time. She knew how much money she was going to get. This testimony and evidence further supports the defendant's premeditated the murder of her husband. So there are two of those things right there. The life insurance company, where she sends those damning texts, along with she knew what she was going to get. She'd already researched it. But if you think about it, her text to Chad about I'm still going to get the $4,000 a month, which is the evidence that she knew before she went to Social Security, that's healthy. That's a healthy inference right there. So she absolutely does not want Kay to get on that stand and say, Lori called me and said these things to me and all that, very upset, all this. Hello, Mr. M, how are you today? But another thing, I was looking through all the state's responses to her stupid motions, and along with anything that they were going to file, as again, the trial starts on Monday with jury selection. This, my friends, is very interesting, and I really want you to hear me on this. On one of the state's documents, it says, on February 6th of 2025, now think about that, that's this year, the state disclosed Maricopa County's jail calls by defendant Lori Vallow Daybell between October 24th of 2024 to January 24th of 2025. And what's important about that is the state is absolutely going to use those jail calls. They're recent, y'all. The end of 2024, the beginning of 2025. What is she saying in those jail calls? Because the state are using them in this case to prove guilt and conspiracy to commit murder. They've got a reason for having those. And that is exactly why Lori's trying to say that they were talking to her appeals attorney and stuff, but the state would never say, okay, we're going to have evidence of her talking to her appeals attorney. They're not going to do that. It's someone else, y'all. It's someone else, because those are private communications. That if she's talking to her, and they don't record those calls with lawyers because they have a different line. You know, at the beginning of the recording it says, if you're an attorney or if you think this should not be recorded, you need to press this number and blah, blah, blah. On March 18th of 2025, the defendant filed a motion to dismiss for violation of attorney-client privilege communications. The state is currently working on a response to this motion, and we haven't heard it yet, y'all. Again, think about this. Common sense. This prosecuting team is going to try to enter evidence of jail calls with her appellate attorney. There is no way they would do that. There's no way that they could give an argument to have that entered into evidence when that is attorney-client privilege. So Lori doesn't understand. She knows they got this. She knows they've gotten these jail calls from October 24th of 2024 to January 24th of 2025. That's 3 months, somewhere in that 3-month period. And she's just throwing that out there because she thinks, oh, well, maybe it was what I said to my appellate attorney. She ain't even smart enough to realize that whoever she was talking to, that they're going to put in this trial, it's going to back up the state's theory of this case. The state is this. The state alleges that on July 11th of 2019, at approximately 7:37 a.m., Charles Vallow arrived at 5531 South Fork Peaks Place, Chandler, Arizona, to pick up his son from the residence where his wife Lori Daybell was living. The state further alleges that Lori conspired with her brother Alex to kill her husband Charles so she could marry Chad Daybell and obtain money from Charles Vallow's life insurance policy and from Social Security. That's what the state is going to prove, and to enter those jail calls, well, how many they are. There might be 1, there might be 5, who knows? But somebody is going to be heard in the jail phone call. And wonder who it is, y'all. And wonder how the state is going to use that. That is going to be so exciting, y'all. So anyway, that is something that I think is interesting. And just to back that up in terms of jail phone calls, and many of y'all know this, prosecutors can use these jail phone calls while they're awaiting trial. Anytime they're in a jail facility with recordings, prosecutors can use that to uncover admissions of guilt, to find new evidence, to attack credibility and file new charges. Now, when we talk about attacking credibility, it would seem that Lori's 10 witnesses, the 11th witness is supposed to be this, what's his name? This digital expert, Lonnie Dorkin. We'll get to him in a second. But these 10 witnesses that the state of Arizona, Trina K says, well, we haven't even been able to, talk to them. We don't know where they're at or anything like that. And then as far as this digital expert, we saw the last hearing. The judge says, we're talking nearly impossible. The question is, will this digital expert with the 10 hours of pay that Lori's getting from the state of Arizona, she said it in her motion here, I got 10 hours. He could take the whole 10 hours and put something together expeditiously. Would he do that? Would this digital expert, Lonnie Dorkin, put something together in this amount of time that would be able to allow for the state there to be able to get somebody to thwart, one of their digital experts to thwart them? Seems a little bit impossible, but if the judge allowed her to have this digital forensic expert, I mean, y'all, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to be part of a high-profile trial? Get his name out there, right? Who knows? I don't think that she'll be able to have him, but there's always that possibility that hey, Lori is going to get him to do it, give him 10 hours, get him this stuff, and hopefully he'll have it together before opening statements. Who knows? And that the state's able to do what they need to do. Who knows? Right, Mo M. Leanne Forsberg says this digital expert, that's ridiculous. He won't testify. Maybe a pivot between cases. Well, how about this? That's something I didn't think about. Maybe this digital forensic expert is given the stuff and he's not able to get his shit together before the Charles Vallow conspiracy to commit murder trial. But he could be together for what, y'all? The Brandon Boudreaux trial coming after that. Maybe, I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's what I got out of it. Well, we sure do get a lot of people on here that really don't know who I am, and a lot of interesting comments there. Thank y'all so much for having to do that. Bernadette Oriardon said, I listened to that podcast. Feel so sorry for him. She has a lot to answer for. Nancy Joe is the woman that had dinner with Charles the night before he was killed. Wow, is that who that is? Thank you so much, Bernadette, for letting us know. I forgot all about that. Y'all, doesn't that shed a light on things a little bit? Mo M says, I was thinking whoever she's talking to on the phone calls could cross over to the next case too. I'm thinking who she could be talking to. Exactly. Which brings me to this, Mo M. I was looking at, I went back to look at, the Chandler probable cause statement and all of that, about Charles and everything. And there was some redactions on stuff. And here was the question that I really had. What about the unnamed redacted person in the investigation documents who helped tip off Lori that Charles and Adam wanted to do a family intervention? And many of us said, well, that was Adam. Adam's the one that tipped Lori off. And I thought, well, I mean, how does that make sense? But then it goes on down and it talks about, well, Lori found out, this is their words, this isn't me, this is them. Lori found out about blank coming to town, and that is Adam, y'all. Adam was coming to town through her mother, and blank. And the first thing I thought was sister. Her mother and her sister. So, could it be that Adam Cox was coming to town and Adam told Summer, or Adam told his mother that was the reason he was coming to town, and Janice or Summer tipped Lori off about the intervention? Because if Adam had not shared that he was coming to town to do an intervention on Lori on behalf of Charles, then how is it stated here that Lori found out about Adam coming to town through her mother? Lori just guessed that Adam was coming to town to do an intervention? Or Adam was coming to town, and what's so big about that, right? I mean, unless you put that on there, that Adam was coming there for a specific reason. Because just looking at it, if Adam was coming to town and he hadn't told anyone the reason, he might have just been coming to town to just hang out or say hi to his family or whatever. So it all started with Adam. Adam must have told Janice, his mother, or he could have told Summer. And really, a family intervention, was the family intervention going to only be Adam and Charles? Maybe Adam thought when he told Janice and Summer or whatever, if Janice told Summer after Adam told her, that he thought that they were all going to get together to help Lori, that they turned on Adam. And I mean, I don't know. Isn't Adam the brother Lori didn't want anyone talking to? Is that why? Yeah, well, Mo M, the question is, and really it's neither here nor there, but it kind of fills in those little pieces. In my opinion, it has to be that Adam started to tell the other family members, Janice or Summer, because he wouldn't have told Barry. And he sure as hell wouldn't have told Alex, because Alex was, up Lori's ass. So why would he tell Alex, oh, we're going to do a family intervention, and then Alex tell Lori? No, Adam told his mother, or Adam told his sister, or Adam told his mother, and his mother told the sister, and the sister told Lori. So it's either Janice or Summer. Because do you think Adam was going to tell Lori, hey, I'm coming to town to do an intervention on you? So we know it wasn't from Adam to Lori. It had to be Adam to Janice or Adam to Summer, or you know what I mean. What I'm saying is ultimately because Adam tried to involve his other family members, that's how Lori got tipped off. And that's how Lori was able to get Alex to come over with his gun and they could ambush his ass. The shit was going to hit the fan and Lori knew it. Carolyn Hughes says the intervention also involved Lori's bishop in Gilbert. So are you saying that this other person that they've redacted could have been the bishop that tipped Lori off? Or are you just making the statement that the bishop was supposed to? From my understanding, the bishop basically didn't help Charles one bit. But, I don't know what it would have been like to be in a position like that. And I don't know anything about this bishop, so I don't know. Mo M says, no way that he was going to tell her he was coming. Her mom and sis, I get that. Rad Joe says the rest of Lori's family believed her, not Charles. Adam was the only one on Charles's side. But and I could see that, Rad, but I don't understand. And maybe you can clarify this, or somebody else can. If Adam knew that Alex was over there with Lori, and remember the text message that he had with Charles before Charles went in the house? Why did he just take off? Why didn't he go over to the house? Or why is it that the next time Adam hears about it, somebody says, look, Charles Vallow's been shot and killed. He was off somewhere with his son. I mean, what happened to the intervention? Did Adam abandon the intervention? I mean, it just doesn't feel right to me. But, that's just me. Harley62 says, I think no intervention would have saved Lori. She was far too gone. Kathy Mama Bear says, but was Adam really on Charles's side? He never showed up. Right. That's what I don't understand. He's coming into town to be part of a family intervention. These are in the court documents. This is Chandler probable cause statement. He's going to do that, and somehow he's just going to abandon it and go off with his son to another place. I don't understand. That makes no sense. Janelle says it doesn't appear that Adam wanted to get involved. If he didn't want to get involved, then why did he come into town? Why didn't he just tell Charles, no, sorry, Charles. I know you sent me this stuff, Charles, and everything, but I need to stay out of this. But Adam was sitting there texting him before Charles went in to the house. That's how much he was involved in it before he took off. Maybe he doesn't want anyone to put those pieces together, common sense. But Adam has not, and as far as I know, maybe y'all have heard his explanation. But to me, I haven't heard anybody say, well, Adam explained himself. He just said that whatever. I mean, what would have been the possible explanation? Well, Charles said he was going to handle it on the text message, so I just said, okay, Charles, you handle it. You're going to be the only one that's going to do the family intervention. I mean, I don't know. Brad Joe says Charles was reaching out to whoever would listen. He was losing hope. That's for sure. That's a fact. Right there, Rad. Adam hasn't ever answered those questions that I know of, says Kathy Mama Bear. And if anybody knows, Kathy knows. Eric Jasper says, that's what I mean. Then he didn't hear from Charles. He didn't do anything until the next day or whenever he visited the friend that looked Charles up and told Adam he'd been shot. Well, Eric, how about this? What would have given his friend this idea about Charles Vallow? Did his friend even know Charles Vallow? So they had to, if that is exactly what happened, Adam must have said something to the friend. And the friend was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just look. But again, why would you be looking for news headlines about anything? I mean, about Charles Vallow. I mean, that's just, y'all, I'm sorry. But even if Adam was the one who said, I looked it up. But this friend does, so that what? Keeps Adam at a distance there? Well, I'm not the one that was looking for breaking news on Charles Vallow. My friend was. Well, that's no better because who the hell are your friend? I mean, why would your friend even come? Well, I'm just going to, out of the blue, I'm going to look up Charles Vallow online to see if there's any news. That's strange, y'all. That's really strange. Eric says, but the, hold on, here we go. Let me get back to it if it'll do it. Shoot. The whole thing about my state-of-the-art system here on my iPhone. Jay says, I don't trust Adam. People in that family could have done a lot more to intervene for those children. But there was one here, I think it was Eric. Yeah, that's the one I was looking at. I don't recommend Adam and Rex's channel. They just do it all for the publicity now. Jet Set J, I'm sure that they have gained some kind of monetization from their whole thing. The Bethy Boob says, why wouldn't Adam return law enforcement's phone calls if Charles was his friend? Y'all, these questions, I mean, Rad says, I did hear Adam say Charles was never without his phone. When he couldn't reach him, he knew something was wrong. Right, Eric. So, in this Chandler probable cause statement, it also has another redacted name, and I'm just curious why they think that we can't figure it out. I mean, just when they talk about Lori found out about blank coming to town, we knew it was Adam. But here's another one. During this time, blank, Lori, Chad continued to message about Charles, aka Hiplos. Why redact that? Who was it? Was it Zulema? Was it Alex? Why can't they put Alex? Right? I mean, if Lori is the subject of Chandler's probable cause statement there, why not let it be Alex? I mean, they could put Alex down there, so it can't be Alex. During this time, blank, Lori, and Chad continued to message about Charles, aka Hiplos. So was it Zulema? Was it Melanie Gibb? Who was it? Whoever that is, and it can't be Alex. Again, why say Lori and Chad when the Chandler Police Department is investigating Alex and Lori, right? Why not put Alex's name in there? It has to be somebody else. Is that person Christina Atwood or Serena Sharp? If you haven't, and I know many of you have, but if you have not watched, put it in the search engine on YouTube. Serena Sharp's interview. That woman's okay. Christina Atwood acts like, I didn't. She's a lot like Melanie Gibb, right? But the civilians are Christina Atwood, Adam Cox, Nancy Jo Hancock, Serena Sharp, and Kay Woodcock. There isn't any other witness. There's no Zulema. There's no Melanie Gibb. There's no David Warwick on this witness list from the state of Arizona. So that, my friends, is that's going to tell us, it's going to narrow things down, because all the other witnesses that are listed by the state are either experts, law enforcement, and of some degree, the medical examiner, professionals, basically. And the trial is only supposed to last 5 weeks. Just Me says, one of the coven. Carrie Richards says, I've been wanting to ask a question. I'm sure it's been said, and I missed it. Lori already has life without parole, so legally, what can come of this trial? A conviction. And we're going to get to Justin Lum interviewing Kay Woodcock in a minute, because he asks her this question that we'll get to that's kind of like what you're asking. And if you haven't watched Kay Woodcock's interview with Justin Lum, please do. The woman is incredible. A lot like her daughter, Cresha. What will this woman, this Hancock woman, Charles must have said something to her. And it can't be hearsay if the victim is relaying something to a witness. And Lori does not want this woman there, and I guarantee you, y'all. You mark me on it. I want you to really mark me on it. Whoever this woman is, and maybe there's pictures of her, and I hadn't seen them, this Nancy Jo Hancock's going to be more beautiful than that hooker ever thought she could be, and Lori's going to be seething green with envy. You just wait and see. Let's get to Kay Woodcock's interview. She looks fabulous, y'all, by the way. Kay Woodcock did an interview with Justin Lum. You know, she's a witness for the state, so she couldn't really tell us a whole lot. She couldn't talk to Justin about a lot of things. But he asked her, he said, how are you going to feel about Lori asking you questions in cross-examination? And Kay Woodcock says she's looking forward to it. She says she's not afraid of it. You know, she says a couple of times, I just don't know, because I think she just hasn't had time to process all of that, which is an absolutely natural and normal thing. But she goes on to say that she's going to be glad to be face to face with Lori, because she brought out the way that the courtroom stood when she was doing her victim impact statement in Idaho. She couldn't face Lori, but now she gets to face her. She says that's what she wants. She says she's not going to be anxious. But she does say that she believes that Lori's going to make a circus of everything. And when Kay said that Lori would make it a circus and everything, you know what, y'all? The hooker is going to be opening doors legally for the state to come in there for the kill. Lori's not going to be able to absolutely think that far ahead to understand that her questions to Kay after the state does a direct examination of Kay Woodcock, Lori's going to make it a circus, and somehow it's going to open that door, and Lori's going to be shit out of luck. Okay, she's going to be shit out of luck. Kay is so classy and sassy. I love her, says Jet Set J. Yes, Rad Joe. Somebody, Bernadette, had let us know. I didn't know. See, I don't know all the answers. Nancy Joe Hancock, I think, and it's been confirmed, was a date Charles had for the night he was killed. The night before he was killed. Kathy Mama Bear says Kay is a rock star. Janelle Murphy says they are going to spank her harshly and send her back to Idaho. Yeah. When that was asked about, well, if she's, what is this conviction really about and all that, Justin Lum asked Kay Woodcock the question about, well, Lori is going to be going back to Idaho, but this conviction is important for justice. And Kay really, she has a way about herself where she can explain things. She says everything's going to come full circle. And she says it's going to come full circle for Lori to be held accountable. Because it would be real easy for any of us to say, well, she's got life in prison, 3 life sentences, excuse me. I don't know why she should have 5, but anyway, 3 life sentences. So really, what's the whole purpose of going to Arizona? Because she's never going to serve time in Arizona. She'll be in Pocatello, right? Well, it's just for Charles. It's justice for Charles. It's accountability. Lori, it'd be really easy for us to say, well, forget the Arizona stuff and all that. Just let her go on to Pocatello and let's just be done with her. Well, Charles deserves justice. Brandon Boudreaux deserves justice. And she never, ever wanted accountability for shit. She blamed her own daughter for it all. She blamed Tylee for everything. That's how much this woman does not want to have responsibility, accountability. Well, man's law is going to make her damn accountable. I get you there. Justice for Charles, says Trevor. Yeah, I get you on that, JP Bad. Life sentences shouldn't be a more permanent solution. It needs to be enforced. Mo M says, I'm so sorry that all this happened. God bless Miss Kay and the family. She blamed a daughter for whose voice she silenced, says Janelle Murphy. And Bethy Boop, again, and justice for Brandon. Tina Reddings says, don't trust Idaho not to turn her case over. It's happened before. Now, there you go, y'all. Another thing. Think about Arizona also. The main priority is justice for Charles and Brandon. But think of it like this. It's also kind of like a backstop. If somehow Lori got out on appeal in Idaho, which I know it won't ever happen, but let's just for sake of argument, they would have the Arizona conviction there. She'll never, ever even get the hope. I mean, does this woman need the hope that her appeals are going to be just fine and dandy and she's going to walk the streets again and all of that, go to Hawaii and all stupid stuff? No, she absolutely does not deserve one iota of hope of getting out of incarceration. She needs to accept it and go on, join the Lit Club, find her a burly woman over there in Pocatello who's a dominant one over there that can get her as many Twinkies and ho-hos as she wants. You know, let her find somebody like that. Eric says, is Zuzu and Melanie Gibb and all the rest on the witness list for the hussy to question? No, Eric. The state, unless Lori has a witness list of 10, there's 10 witnesses that have not been released, along with the 11th one, which is the digital forensic expert. We don't know who they are. But the state has already showed their witness list, and there's only 4 civilians on it, y'all. 4 civilians. The 4 civilians, again, is Kay Woodcock, Serena Sharp, Nancy Jo Hancock, Adam Cox, and Christina Atwood. That's what we have to look forward to, y'all. Unless Lori gets Melanie Gibb on the stand, or David Warwick on the stand, or Zulema on the stand, if somehow she's able to do that. And I don't think she would, because you know that they did the 404B shit in Idaho, where Zulema and Melanie Gibb and all of them talked about how Lori wanted to get rid of Charles and stuff. So why would she want them as a witness? I mean, it's disappointing, because I'd love to see Lori confront Zulema and Melanie Gibb, and it wouldn't put it past her at all to say in one of her questions to Zulema or Melanie Gibb, "You knew all along." Wouldn't that just freak everyone out? This goes back again to Kay Woodcock saying that Lori would make circus. She has nothing to lose. Do you think she really thinks she's going to win this case? Some people think she really thinks she's smart enough to win this conspiracy to commit murder case. She's not stupid, y'all. She knows she's going down. She's got the freaking terabytes of all the information that's going to bury her, nail her ass to the wall. She knows it. But she's going to have her last hoorah. And she's going to do what she's going to do. Yeah, Janelle, when you say, I wish the prosecution would bring all of them into the circus. Well, don't y'all find it interesting that Melanie Pulowski's left out of it? I mean, that would be Brandon Boudreaux's trial, wouldn't it? The state still doesn't have requested numbers for Lori's list of people. Well, Denise Gray, it was my understanding that she had 11 total witnesses. One of them was a digital expert. And what you're saying is they don't have their addresses or any way to get a hold of them. Which brings me to, obviously, y'all, Nate Eaton. Y'all, this woman is so freaking stupid. But Nate Eaton and many of y'all said it before he said it. He says in his emergency motion for protective order, he says, I've learned that I've been identified as a potential witness by Miss Daybell. I'm a reporter for East Idaho News and have no first-hand knowledge of information regarding the crimes of which Miss Daybell has been accused of. Then he goes on to say, it is my understanding that by simply listing me as a potential witness, I can be barred from the courtroom during her trial. And many of y'all were saying that. As soon as that came out, y'all were letting Ole KJ know that. And then Nate Eaton just came out. Let's see, what was it? March the 26th, which was a few days ago. I'm sure y'all already know this. But he says, such an effort clearly interferes with my First Amendment rights as a reporter. He says, further, the risk of harm cannot be eliminated by a less substantial restriction of discovery rights, as it is not the disclosure of my identity that is harmful, but the abuse of the rules of criminal procedure to list me as a witness in order to interfere with my constitutionally protected rights and duties. And that judge can see it for what it is. I mean, Nate's really hit the nail on the head, and folks, he's going to be in that courtroom, and he's not going to be on her witness list. Because it's whatever, I mean, what the hell? Here she is filing motions that Kay Woodcock doesn't have any first-hand knowledge. Why, hell, Nate Eaton doesn't. We know Kay does, but Nate Eaton does not. So this goes back to Lori always accusing others of doing what she's doing herself. It's just a constant, just cycle, vicious. She just wants to get her evil claws into Nate. You know she hates Nate because he uncovered where they are and chased them down in public and made her and Chad a spectacle on the news. Well, I'm sure that's part of it too, but how about this? According to the prison system in Idaho, nobody can interview her. She's never going to get an interview with the Nate Eaton of East Idaho News. She ain't never going to get to have a sit down with Nate Eaton, so why not do what she can do to get him, get his name recognition involved in what she calls, in her handwritten motions, worldwide audience. This is going to be a worldwide thing. She is so grandiose in her thinking, but she's really, if she knew the truth, y'all, the truth is people are interested and fascinated in the hooker because she is so freaking scary. She is a freaking freak show. And people are interested in to see that in action. I was looking at her last motion hearing. I zoomed in. Her hands, y'all. She's got the hands of a murderer. She's a serial killer. And her hands, I mean, oh, y'all. To know that she's got the proverbial blood on her hands of her own children. But that's not enough for her. Not only does she have blood on her hands of her own children, she wants to blame one of her murder victims for her own handiwork. It's crazy. It shows you the evil, diabolical nature of this hooker. Oh, yeah, you're right, just me. We got some good mods on here that's not going to put up with any of that. Yes, Janelle, perfect little sentence there. We literally can see how evil works through Lori's example. Mark McGarry says Lori was accepting to Chad's ideas as the end of the world. At her self-representation, things have changed. I'll tell you what, Mark. No truer words have been said. Ellen Larson says evil and twisted. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Rad. Lori's big show before becoming totally irrelevant. Oh, she's gonna, well, yeah. For those that didn't get to watch KJ's live stream on her narcissism, oh, she's gonna find ways when she's in the Pocatello Women's Prison to make herself relevant. But it's never gonna be enough for her narcissism. She's going to fade away into just oblivion, really. Susan Long says, welcome home. Oh. So with all of that so far, and I'm still working on it, y'all, KJ is going to put together everything that I know about Christina Atwood, Adam Cox, Nancy Jo Hancock, which I know nothing other than she was supposedly with Charles the night before he was murdered. I'm going to try to find what I can. Serena Sharp, I'm going to go back over that. But I'm not going to just say, hey, y'all, let's get together on a live stream about Serena Sharp because I'm going to go beat a dead horse again. I'm going to listen to her words in her interview and try to pick out what the state of Arizona needs from her testimony to bury the hooker. Mark says at the time line of the kid's disappearance, all of the Charles inquiry was hidden. Denise Gray says Kobe can now see through his mother crystal clear. Leanne Forsberg is giving love to all the mods. Thank y'all so much. Y'all been so good to me. Y'all have been so good to this channel. Just to take the time out of your life to do this, it means everything. It's hard work. You could be going to other channels or doing whatever the hell you want to do. You can go to other channels and not have to deal with modding. You can do, but to come here and step up like you have, that's very, very special, and I thank you. She should have been a detective, says KJ. Do you have the 1008 page Kresha had from Chandler? It starts on page 77. No, I do not. The last couple of times, I don't know if Kresha's changed her number or what, but I sent her a couple of texts a while back. I tried to call her one time. I never got any response, so I just kind of backed off on it. But I'm here for her. Anytime she needs me, I'll be around. I've spent my time, my money, my prayers, everything I know how to do. And I will continue, regardless. Brad Joe says the state is already aggravated at her representing herself. They are going to bring the heat. Okay. Sis, you should have been detective. That'd be good. Travis says Crusher's phone was messed up. Jet Set J says odds are sure fast to delete the trolls that I don't even have enough time to block them. Good job, mods. Thank you, says Jet Set J. It's just the way it is, y'all. It's never going to go back to what we used to have here on this channel. All I wanted was just a tiny little space in YouTube to get with the raise. 20 or 30 people. I meant that, and I still do to this day. And, yes, it would be so easy for me to say, okay, I'm going to pick 20 or 30 people, and we're going to set this on private. How unfair is that? Miss Mary, I don't need your money. I got plenty of money, but I'll take a sip of Red Bull, okay? Because I have one of these little short ones a day. I love them. Pure sugar. JoJo, it has been my honor and my pleasure to come and get on this platform and talk with all of y'all. That is the value to me. You being the you that you're ever going to be, the only you you're ever going to be. How beautiful and valuable is that? Just hanging out with people and really going over these cases together and just talking about whatever we're going to talk about. Eric said, I'd be bang zoom off to the moon if I drank one of them, KJ, says Eric. We're studying the Chad and Lori Daybell saga and Donna Adelson. And every once in a while, KJ will dip in on a court case. But it's always because I want to take another case and apply it to the hooker. If that makes sense to you. I love hanging out with all of y'all, Lena. Jaden Joe, I'm doing good. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. I don't mind people being on here as long as they're going to be respectful. If not, we've got mods on here that are very quick. Think about everything, Eric. Think about the last 5 years of everything KJ and y'all have just, all of y'all have discussed with me, and the silly stuff I do, the crazy community wall posts where you're like, what in the heck is she posting that for? I do everything with purpose. Maybe it's to keep people guessing. I don't know. Oh, that's sweet. So, it is Friday, and it's jury selection, y'all. And by what? Let's see. That's I would say the following Monday from there is opening statements. But we're going to get updates about the jury selection process, I am assuming, with Justin Lum, Nate Eaton, perhaps. I mean, I don't know if Cresha's going to be in Arizona during that time, or Donna, do you know, sis, she should have been a detective? Is Cresha leaving for Arizona or what? Hi, librarians. I'm going to tell you what. If anybody wants to say that you cannot have genuine, real friendships in this world inside of a world, we're proving them wrong. I can tell you that. Oh, yeah, okay, sis, you should have been a detective. Cresha plans to be there, not sure of when. Okay. I mean, we're talking as real gets. I mean, at least coming from me. And I feel genuineness coming from you. I mean, if I'm wrong, if there are people on here faking it, so be it. But I think that everyone on here that have been around all this time are real. Real and loving and caring and inquisitive, smart, intelligent. You got your own way of thinking about things, and you don't have to embrace what others think. You can stick to your own guns, or you can, educate me, or we can educate each other. Donna, who insists you should have been a detective, I will be handling the stream during the trial. Hope you join me on Difficult Research, y'all. That's where I'm going to be. I'm not going to Law and Crime or any of these other channels during the trial. I'm going to be at K. Easton's Difficult Research. She is a victim's family member. She has put her heart, her soul, all her research, busted her ass for several years. She's had her ups and downs. She's had her traumas. She's had her enlightenments. And she's had support from me and many, many others to get justice through understanding. Librarians, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Porch Talk during the trial. There might be separate things that I might record or whatever, but we're going to try to get together every day around the same time during the trial. Obviously people are going to be watching the trial. I'll be watching it, but maybe later on in the evening. I can be out here on the porch at night. We've got outside lights out here, and we can get together. And you don't have to be here during the live streams. You can come back and rewatch them if whatever it is. If you've had a full day of trial, I know Fridays they don't have court in Arizona, so Friday will be a good day to get caught up on things as well. Hope Grace says, we do love Cresha. Well, thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. So before I go, because we talk about some heavy stuff, and again, these are just some notes that I have gotten since Lori's filed her motions and all this. Let's detach from that a minute, and I just want to ask the question, what are you doing this week? I want to know what you're going to be doing this weekend. Come on now, I'm being nosy. I want to know what you're going to be into this weekend. JoJo says, together we have laughed and cried, smiled every time I think of the happiness you exploded with when the beef Wellington was perfect. Oh, yeah. Yeah. KJ ain't afraid to do those cooking things. Remember when Mr. Wayne did the prime rib roast? Ah. Janelle Murphy says, I'm attending a baby shower. Librarian says, family dinner at Mama's for her belated birthday. I'm working. Librarians, tell your mother that old KJ says happy birthday. Lena Howery, Beach Lady says, in Florida, enjoying the warm weather until May. Lena Howery says, making bread from my sourdough starter. I'm new at it, and I bet it's going to be yummy. Says she should have been a detective. Says, I'm going to Ole Miss to a band competition with my granddaughter. She made a 34 on her account or her act. I don't know how that is. Well, congratulations. That must be great news. Let's see what else. Rad Joe says, I'm making your chicken and dumplings, KJ. Have you had them already? Oh, I love them. That's one of the main things my sons and my husband likes the most is my chicken and dumplings. Treva Lebec says, I'm watching NASCAR with my hubby. Me too. But tonight, Tennessee plays Kentucky basketball. Y'all, OKJ's a big Tennessee fan. I hope they make it. I hope they win it. Bernadette says, I'm visiting my grandkids. Well, nothing's better than that. I had grandkids. I'm praying for them. The Rays and others know, for all this time they've known me, I prayed every single day of my life that one day I'll be a grandmother. I'll be 54 here next week, and I'm ready. I'm ready for a grandbaby. I pray for it all the time. But you know what? If I never get a grandchild, it was God's will, and God's will is perfect. So, maybe I'm a little selfish in wanting a grandbaby, but maybe I'll get one. It's a blessing for sure. Harley62 says, I'm going to do some more snow blowing. We're expecting a snowstorm today. My Lord. Oh, Harley, if you were sitting out on this porch with me right now, oh, we'd be sipping us some sweet tea or lemonade or even something a little heavier. It's a beautiful day. It's about 72 degrees here. The leaves are coming out on the trees. The grass is getting greener. Everything's going good. Yesterday, I picked up Opie. He got neutered. I'm having to put a cone on his head at nighttime, but I'm having to watch him real close. He's on pain medicine right now, but he's doing fine. Oh, okay, Donna. College entry exam. The ACT, excuse me. I know what that is. A 34, the perfect score is 36. Woo! She's a Bill Gates smart, says Donna. Well, congratulations to her. Dean Tonga says, I'm a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, Dean, I'm going to tell you what, Dalton Connect, they got him a good one. I know he only spent 1 year at Tennessee, but he's incredible. Janelle Murphy says, happy birthday, Melody. Hi, Arian. JJ, if I ever get a grandbaby, I'm probably going to go broke, spoil them rotten, probably. But my idea of, I'd like to take my grandchild when they get, maybe 3 or 4 or whatever, take them to a creek, let them play in the creek, looking at rocks and playing in the water and just getting out in nature and teaching them about what the names of the trees are and things like that. Kathy says, we're working on getting our house clean so we can hire a pet sitter while we go to Tennessee to visit KJ. It's an open invite, Kathy. That is going to be wild when the Rays and others see you are actually here, you and Mr. Tom. When y'all get here, we're going to take y'all out to nice dinners and take you to neat places in Tennessee. You'll love it. You'll love it. Have a great day, beach lady. Leanne Forsberg says, 5 more inches of snow to fall here yet. Can I come over too? Yes. Y'all just come on, every dang one of you. We'll find a way to house y'all. I might live out in the damn country, but if you travel about 25 minutes up the road, there's hotels. I'll set your ass up. We'll have a good old time. Oh, heck, man, we'll have one big party. That's nice, Harley62. You've done all that with your grandson. How sweet is that? Eric Jasper says, we're filling in our backyard pond. Last week, this ginormous bird, Ohio Wildlife has no clue what kind, ate roughly 10 koi, 5 to 10 catfish, and all of our giant goldfish. Got every last one, KJ. Oh my gosh. Was it one of those cranes? Is that what it looked like? Or was it a bird of prey? What was it? That's crazy. You know, and those dang fish are not cheap to purchase. Sis, you should have been a detective, says, my grandchild is down to earth. She has a veggie garden. Oh, I love that. I love that. Definitely. Eric Jasper sounds like a pterodactyl. I think you spelt that wrong, but I understood what you meant by that. So, here in Tennessee, it's the place to be. But, how about this? All the gold in California is in a bank in the middle of Beverly Hills in somebody else's name. So if you're dreaming about California, oh, that's right, Eric, if you're dreaming. I love all of y'all. I hope y'all have a great weekend. You know, be looking. Okay, Jay's going to probably put some stuff on the community wall. Who knows? I might come back and get a wild hair up my ass to do something crazy like I did the other day. You know, I get these ideas, these little skits, and the next thing you know, Mr. Wayne is my cellmate, and I'm Lori. Who knows, y'all? But you know those skits are going to happen. Satirical nonsense. You're never going to find it anywhere else on any platform that's out there. Okay, Jay might not be the best damn performance art person, but by God, I'm going to do it to it. But I love y'all. You know I do. Have a great weekend. Keep on looking.